Hello and welcome. Everyone, in today's video, we're diving deep into a fascinating and powerful topic: how to understand and apply psychological principles through the lens of Stoicism. To deepen romantic attraction, you may have heard the old saying, human nature is like water. It adapts to the shape of its container. This simple yet profound idea reminds us that human behavior, just like water, can shift, flow, and reshape itself depending on its surroundings. Throughout this video, you'll explore how timeless psychological techniques, many drawn from the insights of thinkers like Robert Greene, can be used ethically to strengthen connection, increase attraction, and nurture more meaningful relationships. These aren't tricks or games meant to manipulate or harm. Instead, they're insights into how we all, as human beings, respond to scarcity, curiosity, social proof, and emotional presence. But before we begin, I want to gently remind you that with excellent knowledge comes great responsibility. These strategies are only meant to enhance genuine, respectful relationships, not to control or deceive. As you follow along, think about how you can apply them in ways that uplift both you and the people you care about. So, stay with us until the end of the video, because not only will we break down each principle one by one, but we'll also reflect on the deeper ethical dimensions of these tools and how they can help build authentic connections. Let's get us started. Number 1, use scarcity to increase desire. In the dance of relationships, many men believe that the way to a woman's heart is through constant presence, always available, always ready, always giving. But the truth is, what we value most as humans is often shaped by scarcity. Psychologists call this the scarcity effect. When something feels limited or rare, its value increases dramatically in our eyes. We see this everywhere, from limited edition sneakers to countdown sales. And yes, it plays a profound role in romance too, for a man. This doesn't mean playing childish games or pretending to be busy just to seem important. Women are quick to sense inauthenticity. Actual scarcity is created when a man naturally limits his availability because he's genuinely focused on meaningful goals, personal growth, and passions outside of the relationship. He's not clinging to her every message or dropping everything the moment she calls. Instead, he's out building a fulfilling life, working hard, pursuing hobbies, investing in his health, and nurturing his ambitions. This isn't about neglect. In fact, when he is with her, he's fully present. There's no half-hearted attention, no distracted scrolling through his phone. His time with her is intentional, and she feels it. That's what makes it precious, because she knows his time is rare. She doesn't take it for granted. She anticipates seeing him. She cherishes the moments they share because they are not guaranteed or endless. This creates an emotional tension, a sense of anticipation and reward that keeps the connection alive and dynamic. Women often fall into patterns where they expect constant attention from partners, sometimes unconsciously testing how much a man will give up, prioritize them. However, the man who maintains his sense of self and continues to nurture his own life without letting his identity dissolve into the relationship becomes far more magnetic. He becomes a figure she admires and respects, someone who reminds her of the importance of individual purpose, even within love. It's tempting to think that closeness comes from constant closeness, but paradoxically, true emotional intimacy often deepens when both people have space to breathe, to miss each other, to reflect on what the other person brings into their life. When a man balances this correctly, not disappearing, not playing hard to get, but living fully and inviting her into a world that already has meaning. She feels both drawn to him and grateful for the time they share. The scarcity effect doesn't mean you become distant or cold. It means you cultivate a life so whole and meaningful that she knows you are offering her something rare when you give her your time and attention. And when she feels that, she learns to cherish you in a way she wouldn't if you were always at her fingertips, always available, always ready to sacrifice everything. Genuine connection thrives not in constant presence, but in meaningful presence. When you give her that, you become unforgettable, not because you chased her relentlessly, but because you showed her the value of a man who knows how to balance love with purpose. Number 2, start small, then go, big foot in the door technique. In the intricate dance of male-female relationships, many men wrongly believe they need grand gestures to capture a woman's attention or win her affection. Yet psychology shows us that the most powerful connections often begin with the smallest, simplest moments. The foot in the door technique, though subtle, carries immense emotional weight when applied with care. At its core, it relies on the human desire for consistency. Once someone agrees to something small, they are far more likely to say yes to something larger because it aligns with the image they are already forming of themselves. Picture this, you ask her, with a playful smile. Do you like ice cream? It's harmless, lighthearted, and barely scratches the surface of anything intimate. When she says yes, it's not just about dessert anymore. She has quietly labeled herself as someone who's open to sharing a little moment with you. Then, smoothly, you follow up, want to go get ice cream together. Now the stakes are slightly raised, but because she's already said yes once, saying no now would feel inconsistent. Without realizing it, she's easing into spending time with you, drawn forward by her own momentum. This approach works because it gently lowers emotional defenses. Women, especially those who have weathered the uncertainties of past relationships, often guard their vulnerability. A small ask doesn't demand anything heavy from her, doesn't corner her with pressure. Instead, it offers a low-stakes doorway she can walk through, one that gradually builds involvement and trust without setting off alarms. Over time, these small yeses accumulate, opening space for deeper emotional or romantic connections. The brilliance of this isn't about manipulation or trickery. It's about respecting the natural rhythms of human connection. Women are sensitive to feeling rushed or cornered. And when a man knows how to build a connection step by step, he shows emotional intelligence that stands out. He's not the guy pushing too hard or overwhelming her with intensity. He's the one who understands that real intimacy is a slow burn, not a wildfire. This technique teaches a vital lesson to truly win a woman's heart. You don't have to dazzle her or overwhelm her with constant effort. You just need to be present, thoughtful, and patient enough to let the connection unfold in its own time. With each small yes, she's not just agreeing to an action, she's slowly reshaping how she sees you in her life. And with every step, you're guiding both of you towards something bigger, something meaningful that feels natural and right. Number 3, become mysterious in the delicate dance of attraction. One truth often goes unnoticed by many men and women: they are deeply drawn not to the man who lays everything bare from the start, but to the man who knows how to unfold himself slowly. This isn't about playing games or creating artificial distance. It's about tapping into a timeless human principle, the power of mystery. Psychologically, we are wired to chase the missing pieces. The curiosity gap pulls at us when we sense there's more to know. Women, like men, feel this pull toward what is partially hidden, what invites discovery. The man who becomes unforgettable is not the one who dumps his entire life story onto the table during the first few dates, but the one who reveals himself in careful layers, each more intriguing than the last. Imagine a conversation where you share a glimpse of your childhood, Maybe a story about the small town you grew up in or a moment that shaped you. But you leave out the deeper chapters for another time. This isn't deception, it's a strategy. You're creating a sense of discovery, letting her feel like she's uncovering new corners of your world as the connection deepens. With every new layer she learns about, her emotional investment grows because she senses the relationship still holds surprises. Novelty and unpredictability keep the bond alive. When a relationship becomes too predictable too quickly, it risks going stale. But when a man holds a quiet confidence and knows when to share and when to hold back, he becomes someone she leans into, someone she wants to understand more fully. You're not hiding. You're offering her the gift of unfolding discovery. It's essential, though, to strike a balance. You're not being evasive or closed off. You're not dodging her questions or making her feel shut out. You are simply choosing what to share now and what to leave for later, creating a rhythm of openness that feels intentional, not overwhelming. She senses that behind your calm surface. There's depth, a history, a story, a set of dreams and fears that she'll uncover, not all at once, but over time. This subtle art is what keeps her curious, what keeps her leaning forward across the table, asking you for more stories, more insights, more moments that help her understand who you really are. And in doing so, you give her the priceless feeling of discovery, the thrill that she's peeling back layers no one else has reached. The man who becomes mysterious in this way, who holds himself with quiet self-possession and reveals his life like unfolding chapters, is the man she remembers long after. He's the one who makes her heart race, not because of what he gives away too soon, but because of what she still hopes to explore. In his presence, the relationship never feels fully known, never finished, and that, more than grand gestures or flashy romance, is what keeps her emotionally engaged and forever drawn to his side. Number 4, master the push-pull technique. Many men believe that constant attention and unwavering affection are the keys to a woman's heart. They shower her with compliments, texts, and presents, thinking that more always equals better. But the truth is, human psychology doesn't work that way. Think about a romantic weekend where you're fully present, attentive, and affectionate. She feels cherished, seen, and valued. But then, instead of clinging or flooding her with more attention, you step back into your own world. You focus on your work, your hobbies, and your friends. You show her that you are not a man who needs constant reassurance or her validation to feel whole. This unpredictability creates a spark inside her. She starts to anticipate, to wonder, to crave the moments when your focus turns back to her. It's not because you are cruel or playing with her feelings, but because you are showing a deeper level of independence. She realizes you have your own purpose and goals, and that your life is not revolving solely around her. That scarcity, the rare, precious moments when she has your full attention, becomes even more meaningful because it's not always guaranteed. Women are naturally drawn to men who maintain a balance between intimacy and individuality. When you lean too far into constant attention, you risk becoming predictable, and predictability can quietly erode excitement. But when you combine moments of closeness with moments of separation, you keep her emotionally engaged. She feels the pulse of the relationship, the rise and fall, the slight tension that keeps passion alive. The key, however, is to remember that this is not about manipulation. It's not about playing cold games or withholding affection to hurt or confuse her. It's about embodying a self-assured presence that doesn't cling or demand. You're not afraid to give love, but you're also not afraid to focus on yourself. You don't need her constant approval to feel masculine or whole. And that quiet confidence is what draws her in over and over. A man who knows how to navigate this balance is unforgettable. He becomes the one she thinks about when she's away, the one she anticipates seeing again, the one who makes her feel both cherished and challenged. He awakens in her the natural human desire to pursue, to secure, to hold on to something valuable, and by having his ground. By staying true to his own passions and pursuits, he invites her to meet him in a space of mutual respect and desire in the end. Mastering the push-pull technique isn't about creating distance for its own sake. It's about creating a relationship where both people remain alive with interest, curiosity, and passion. It's about knowing when to lean in and when to stand tall in your own world. And it's about giving her something more powerful than constant attention. The chance to want you, to miss you, and to remember why she's drawn to you in the first place. Number 5, create a triangle of desire. In every relationship, there's an invisible dance of perception and attraction playing beneath the surface. Women are often drawn to men not only for who they are in private, but for how they're seen by the world around them. This is where the triangle of desire quietly shapes the emotional landscape between two people. It's a simple but powerful psychological truth that we tend to value what others value. If something or someone is admired, respected, or desired by others, we instinctively elevate their worth in our own eyes. For a woman, knowing that the man beside her is admired by others doesn't create insecurity if it's handled with subtlety and grace. Instead, it deepens her sense of pride. She feels she has chosen well, that the man she's with isn't just valuable to her, but is recognized as special by the broader world. This amplifies her emotional connection, as she feels she's sharing life with someone who brings not only personal fulfillment, but social esteem. Imagine the moment when you casually mention that your coworkers complimented you on your latest project, or that your friends often turn to you for advice because they trust your judgment. You're not boasting. You're not trying to make her jealous. You're simply letting her see the kind of man the world sees. And in doing so, you're reinforcing that she's not just with anyone, she's with someone others admire. This delicate balance isn't about playing games or manufacturing attention. It's about embodying a life that naturally attracts respect and admiration. When you walk into a room and others light up because you're there, she feels that spark too. When you share stories of kindness shown to you or praise you've received, she feels the quiet thrill of knowing she's chosen a man of value. Women often form emotional bonds through both private intimacy and social reflection. She doesn't just love who you are in the quiet moments when it's just the two of you. She also loves how she feels when she sees how the world responds to you. She wants to know she's walking beside someone who is seen, appreciated, and respected. That sense of pride enhances her attachment and deepens her desire to stay close. You don't need grand declarations or artificial setups. The beauty of the triangle of desire lies in its subtlety. A simple moment, a light remark, a quiet reveal of how others hold you in esteem. These are the threads that weave together a stronger emotional connection. The key is sincerity. This isn't about manipulation or showing off, but about gently letting her see that you are someone others cherish and admire. In doing so, you create an emotional atmosphere where she feels both secure and excited, where she sees herself as part of something valuable, and where her choice to be with you is constantly affirmed by the quiet social echoes surrounding you. She doesn't just feel she's in love with you, she feels proud of you, proud to be the one who stands by your side. And that pride, that subtle sense of being part of something admired, becomes one of the strongest threads tying her heart to yours. Number 6, make her feel like she's the only one. In every woman's heart lies a quiet but powerful longing to feel like the main character in someone's life. Not just another face in the crowd or another name on a list, but the person who matters most when she's with you It's not about grand romantic gestures or expensive gifts. It's about presence, selective attention, and the art of truly seeing her. When a man puts away his phone, turns off the world outside, and offers his full attention, something remarkable happens. The space between them becomes charged with meaning. She senses it immediately, not just in his words, but in the way his eyes stay with hers, the way he leans in slightly, the way he listens without waiting to speak. Suddenly, she knows, deep in her chest, that in this moment she is the only one. It might seem small, remembering the story she shared last week about a stressful work meeting and following up by asking, how did it go? But for her, it's everything. It tells her she's been living in his mind even when they're apart, that her worries and triumphs matter, that she's not just passing time beside him, but leaving footprints in his emotional world. This kind of attention builds trust and intimacy more deeply than flashy surprises ever could. She begins to relax, knowing she can open up without fear of being dismissed or overshadowed. She starts to believe she can rely on him, that she's not competing with a phone screen or distracted glances. And with each of these moments, her emotional investment in the relationship grows stronger. She no longer feels like just a companion, but like a central figure in his life story. Many men underestimate the power of focused presence, thinking they need to impress or entertain. But the truth is, women remember the man who makes them feel special simply by showing up fully and treating shared time as sacred. In a world that constantly pulls attention in every direction, offering undivided attention becomes a rare and precious gift. By seeing her, really seeing her, you awaken something profound inside, a sense of being cherished not for what she does, but for who she is. And in return, she offers her trust, her openness, and a connection that runs far deeper than surface attraction. She feels special, seen, and appreciated, and that is what makes her want to stay, to grow, and to give her heart more fully. Number 7, employ mirroring and matching. There's something quietly powerful about the unspoken harmony between two people when they truly connect. It's not always about what's said or even what's done. Sometimes it's about the delicate ways we reflect each other's presence. This is where the art of mirroring and matching comes into play. And though it may seem small, its psychological pull runs deep. When a man subtly mirrors a woman's gestures, tone, or pace, something fascinating happens beneath the surface. If she leans in slightly, and he too leans just a bit, the space between them shrinks, not just physically, but emotionally. If she punctuates her words with small hand movements, and he naturally picks up a similar rhythm, she begins to feel a shared energy forming between them. Even the way he adjusts his speech matters. If she speaks softly, he softens his tone too, matching the volume and pace without forcing it. These small alignments create a sense of synchrony, an invisible thread pulling them closer without either person needing to explain why. The beauty of this approach lies in its subtlety. Done well, it feels natural, like two instruments effortlessly playing in tune. But if a man tries too hard, if the mirroring becomes obvious, it can snap the connection in an instant. Women are especially attuned to social cues, and anything that feels like mimicry or artificial copying can break the sense of trust and authenticity. That's why the key isn't to replicate her every move, but to harmonize with her energy, to reflect, not imitate. Psychologists have long known that people gravitate toward those who make them feel understood. Mirroring works because it speaks to the subconscious, creating a soft sense that this person is like without needing to say it out loud. It's not about manipulation or trickery. It's about showing up in a way that aligns with her presence. making her feel seen and comfortable. A woman may never say, "You mirror my gestures so well," or "You match my speech so perfectly," but she will feel something in his company, a sense of ease, an invisible rapport. She'll sense that this is a man who listens beyond words, who notices the delicate currents between them and adjusts his energy in kind. And that sense of alignment, of moving together in quiet rhythm, can make all the difference in how she connects and responds. For men who want to deepen their bonds with women, learning the art of subtle mirroring is like mastering a silent language. It's not about performing or impressing, it's about entering her emotional space with awareness and care. When a man can do this gracefully, without force or obviousness, he becomes someone she feels drawn to, not because of grand gestures, but because of the seamless dance of connection he knows how to create. As we reach the end of this exploration into the psychological strategies that can enhance attraction and deepen connection, it's essential to remember that true power lies not in manipulation, but in authenticity and mutual respect. While these techniques draw from well-established principles of human behavior, they are not shortcuts or magic spells. They are tools meant to strengthen genuine relationships built on trust, understanding, and care. Real connection is not about control or performance. It's about showing up as your best self, fully present and intentional, while allowing the other person to do the same. Each principle shared here, from creating mystery to offering undivided attention, is most effective when used ethically and mindfully. Relationships thrive when both people feel valued, respected, and appreciated, not when they think they are a part of a calculated game. As you reflect on what you've learned, I invite you to share your own experiences and insights in the comments below. What strategies have you tried? What has worked for you? And what lessons have you learned along the way? I'll be reading your stories and may highlight the most inspiring ones in future videos. If you find this content meaningful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insights into psychology, relationships, and personal growth. Together, let's keep learning, evolving, and creating the kinds of connections that truly enrich our lives. See you next time.